Hey everyone, can you hear me? Yes. Okay, cool. So good morning everyone. Thanks a lot for coming, for logging in actually. And I do hope that after this 1 hour and 15 minutes, we managed to get to know more about the news that we are launching for the young learner products here at Cultura Inglesa, right? Right, so before getting things started, I'd like to thank both Ivan and Priscilla who are actually together with us with the technological support. And I would also like to tell you that in this webinar, we are trying, we are experimenting with different tools. So for you to, let's say, for you to perform all the tasks that you'll be expected to perform, you should have your Google Classroom open, and in the Google Classroom you are going to have a mix of activities we prepared using some of the tools that Rafa has mentioned and probably Ivan also has mentioned, which is the use of Google Drive, Google Forms, and Google Slides. So this is also a way to show you how we can do these, use these tools in order to experiment with some sort of gamify with games.
We're having some sort of problem with the streaming.
We are?
Yes, I don't know why. But apparently it's not broadcasting.
I stopped streaming. I think they start streaming aqui.
Start streaming.
Okay. Good morning. Can you see me and hear me?
It says we're live, but apparently we aren't.
Are we live? Can you see us?
So let's see, I'm going to stop controlling. Just a second.
Okay. So you're not controlling anything.
No. Let's see.
Hello, can you see me now and hear me now? Yes?
É estranho, ele fala que a gente está ao vivo, mas a gente não está. Vamos de novo. Stop.
interferir, não? Vai ser ruim?
Nossa, não tá. Assim, ele tá streaming, ele mostra aqui, mas ele não.
Ela não tava carregando.
Ele não tá carregando mesmo. Vamos tentar fechar e abrir de novo? A gente
Você
avisou.
quer?
É, a gente avisou todo mundo
tá.
aqui, olha, espera um pouquinho que a gente tá com technical difficulties, mas
Ok.
vamos começar de novo. Fecha
Acho que
aqui.
agora foi.
Tá transmitindo ou tá no preview? Sobe a tela aqui.
Sobe?
Sobe a tela, pra gente ver como é. A tela não, o canto. Sobe.
Tá, sobe.
Ainda não.
Ah, tá sim, então pra eles.
É, então. Vê se tá recebendo dados agora.
Faz um refresh.
Agora deu.
Deve estar live já, né?
Tá live 6 minutos.
Então, mas ele não tá indo pro YouTube, né? Ele mostra que a gente tá ao vivo, mas ele não tá mandando pro YouTube. Vamos conectar no 4G e ver se isso é o que tá atrapalhando?
Deixa meu celular ligar.
Não, tem o meu aí. Isso nunca aconteceu comigo.
Gente,
Porque ele encontra, né, o vídeo, ele recebe aquele stream,
Sim.
mas ele não transmite.
Mas a gente não consegue pegar a chave de novo aqui, né? Só pra ver se tava certo lá.
Não, mas se ele chegou até aqui, a chave tinha que estar certa, né? Concorda?
Sim.
É, enfim.
E aqui ele aparece no preview. Não, aqui é o
Ah,
public.
tenta aí.
Não, mas aqui é o public, né? Ele não...
Mas tem uma janela aqui com uma visualização aqui do lado.
Ah, então, mas esse daqui tinha
E
um...
esse aqui tem. Nossa.
Tinha que ter uma aqui de preview, sabe? Aquela...
Então, não sei se eu
controle.
gosto de preview aqui. Essa máquina também tem OBS, né?
Tem.
Nossa, que chato. Galinha, você não quer ir escrevendo pelo chat?
deixa eu ver. Não pode ser porque a minha conta não tá.
Ah, que conta você acessou ali na...
Ah, Karina Nazari.
Não.
Ah, ela não usa, né? Eu tô bem maluca.
Mas não pode ser mesmo? Se eu...
Deixa eu ver.
Ó. Porque aqui não pode ser que eu teria que estar na minha outra conta?
Não, sim, teoricamente tá tudo funcionando, mas ele não quer transmitir. Porque a gente está recebendo aqui. Karina, vamos lá pro Classroom, vamos botar o pessoal para fazer atividade.
Tá.
Já estou colocando de stickers aqui, tá? Tá assigned. Reinicia esse computador.
Esse aqui.
Okay. We're good. I mean, as good as it can be, to be a little bit late. Can you hear me? Please give us a shout out that you can hear me and then you can see a Google Classroom and the clock. Hooray. Yes, I think we're good. So we're just having a pickle with one computer here. We're good. So we're just going to switch up as good as it can be. So just give us a moment so that Karina can you hear me? Please give us a shout out that you can hear me and then you can see a Google Classroom and the clock. Hooray. Yes, I think we're good. So we're just having a pickle with one computer here. We're good. So we're just going to switch up as good as it can be. So just give us a moment so that Karina can hear me. We're not thinking away.
Oh, okay. So you can hear me, right? Cool. First of all, good morning, everyone. It's really nice to have you all here connected, so that we can start talking a bit about our changes for the young learners product. Not changes, but the things that we are. So you can hear me, right? To make your learning or make students learning a bit more visible and tangible. It's really nice to have you all here connected, so that we can start talking a bit about. This is a kind of webinar that I put together with product, so that we can do this in a more interactive way. So you can hear me, right? To make your learning or make students learning a bit more visible and tangible. It's really nice to have you all here connected, so that we can start talking a bit about. This is a kind of webinar that I put together with product, so that we can do this in a more interactive way. So you can hear me, right? To make your learning, make students learning a bit more visible and tangible. The idea is that we solve problems that are posed to me that are start talking a bit about. This is a kind of webinar that I put together with product, so that we can do this in a more interactive way. So you can hear me, right? To make your learning, make students learning a bit more visible and tangible. The idea is that we solve problems that are posed to me that are start talking a bit about. This is a kind of webinar that I put
This might be. Can you hear us now, guys?
Can you hear us now? Better? Any better? The sound or the echo?
Yeah, apparently the echo stopped. There's a lot of background noise. This might be. Can you hear us now, guys?
Can you hear us now? Better?
This is
Any better?
Oh, it sounds good now.
The sound or the echo? Better.
Yeah, apparently the echo stopped. Oh God, why is this happening? There's a lot of background noise. This might be. Can you hear us now, guys?
Can you hear us now? Better?
This is
Any better?
Oh, it sounds good now.
The sound or the echo? Better.
Yeah, apparently the echo stopped. Oh God, why is this happening? There's a lot of hear us now, guys.
Can you hear us now? Better? Any better? Now I can hear everyone. Tá dando slow motion. Hi. Can you hear? Can you hear me now?
It seems to be better now.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Where is this echo coming from?
Tem eco mesmo, porque eu falo e ouço falando.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen. Ó, desse computador não tá indo. Aqui, ó, tá vendo? Eu tô streaming e não tá chegando lá. Ele só fica carregando. Vai ter que ser daquele computador mesmo.
Você quer que eu pegue um?
Agora a gente vai ter que... Ah, não tem como. Às vezes tem o OBS, né? Tá, esse computador pode esquecer. Vamos ver se agora eu tô ao vivo. See if you can listen. Pelo tablet. Tá já pronto já. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Let's try refreshing. Is it working? Oh, you can hear me. You can see me.
Yes.
Good. Oh, good. I'm so sorry, guys. We're still not sure what's happening. But apparently there is no echo now. So sound is good. Image is good. So Priscilla is saying that yes, we have sound. And now let's have Karina back here. I'm sorry, Karina.
Where? There now?
Yeah, just switch a bit to the side. And this is your camera now.
Okay.
Not the best one, but I
Alright.
think it'll do the trick.
Super fine.
Oh, sorry.
And what about the results thing? Because some of the hey, good morning, all of you. I was checking Google Classroom, and some of you have already posted your results. So how did you like? How did you like the tasks? Yes. So, the idea. Okay.
All right, so let me just do this one thing. Let's start. All over again. Let's start all over again. So good morning, everyone. We are here in order to talk a bit more about the changes will be implemented in 2019 concerning our young learners courses. These changes, they are actually a result of a research and development group that we had here at SEG last year. And the idea is that through portfolio of activities and through storytelling, we keep on making our learning even more visible and tangible for our own learners, for our teachers, and for parents as well, right? We devised this webinar in order to be a bit more dynamic and a bit more gamified. We have had a lot of dynamism this morning so far. So let's try to focus on the gamified part of thing now. So as you can see, you have an activity called Sticker. And this sticker activity is just for you to get acquainted with what we are expected to have as something new or as something different for the young learners. 25 people are expected in this. There are about 25 people watching me now. So the idea is that you all kind of finish your work and then we are going to analyze the results in a way that we can see and we can share the changes, okay? Right, so 14 people have turned in. And the first quiz was actually a math quiz, right? Just to start the morning with, working on our, let's say, reasoning skills. Okay, and the results.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, people are getting the quantity of stickers wrong. Everybody's getting it wrong, actually.
Guys, I think we should start working a bit more on maths, huh? All right, so if we take a look at our first task, the idea here is that you were given lots of groups, right? So, not a lot, but 3. You were given a pre-kids with 20 learners, a kids with 18 learners, and a junior with 17 learners. And the main aim or the purpose of this activity was to help you select or prepare and plan how many stickers you would get for each one of your groups up until lesson 10. Okay, so if you have for each level, for pre-kids, kids, and junior, from lesson 1 to lesson 10, we have 2 portfolio tasks each, which means that if you want to get the results correct, you just have to multiply the number of the learners from that were given in the problem. So if you have 20 learners for your pre-kids, you would need 40 red stickers. If you have 18 learners for your kids, that means you are going to need 36 stickers. And if you have 17 learners for your juniors or preteens 3, you are going to get 35 yellow stickers. And this is why, and this is because we will be giving a sticker per portfolio task our students complete in class. The idea, we tried this in a smaller scale when in one of our partner schools, and apparently learners got really excited, and they got really excited about taking a sticker home and showing the sticker to parents And this was a way that could, I mean, by looking at the sticker, or by when a kid starts showing the sticker around, this might be one opportunity for parents to ask what happened in the English lesson, why is it that the kid has a sticker, and this might generate some sort of conversation which might help students explain in a more, let's say, concrete way what they actually do in our lessons. So yes, we all understand that we are going to have the sticker for portfolio tasks and portfolio tasks only. Most of us got that the yellow stickers are related to preteens 3 and 4 and juniors. The red stickers, they relate to pre-kids, and the blue ones, they relate to kids and or preteens 1 and 2. So they are color coded according to the color of to the color of their course books, in fact, right? And the steps, mainly, I mean, the way we thought of this activity was to help you see that the stickers are connected to the colors are connected to the books that we already use, and the number of stickers you will need refer to the number of portfolio tasks learners will do together with us, and as a result of some sort of language work and some sort of their own work in terms of social emotional development as well, right? Okay. Let me take a look at what you said in terms of why the sticker is there. So there is a person who said that this person is not sure. If you're not sure, maybe by taking a look, or maybe by listening to some of the things peers said, and I'll be reading them for you now. So to make learning more visible, to get students motivated to accomplish the task, to encourage learners to talk about what happened in the class, to tell parents, to help parents understand and be updated of students' work, to help students have some sort of reward for concluding the activity. And it's very interesting that this word comes up, because when we think of the portfolio tasks and when we think of the sticker, it is a reward in the sense that the student finished and completed the task. We are not assessing let's say, how effective or the drawing or the quality of the work. We are assessing its completion. So if the kid managed to finish it, we are going to give the sticker. If the kid doesn't finish it, it doesn't mean that we are not going to give the sticker. It just means that we have to be more attentive to that kid. We're going to help the kid accomplish the task, and the kid will be receiving a sticker. So the sticker by no means will become some sort of, let's say, money or some sort of thing that we will exchange in turn of good behavior or in turn of anything else that we want our kids to perform. This is just a way to signalize and to say, you know, parents, we have done something really interesting. We have done something that in a way helped your kids go through a process. Ask me more. You know, this sticker is just like I was when talking to when giving the same workshop with face-to-face. I had the idea of comparing the sticker to the Herbalife kind of sticker. You want to lose weight? Ask me how. So the idea there, just by having the sticker, it's not going to help me lose any weight, but it's going to promote some sort of interaction that is eventually going to help me make a decision. And this is exactly why we are adding the stickers to the portfolio tasks, so that the students feel the sense of achievement, so the student feels the sense of progress, and parents also feel and the sense of achievement and progress as well, which are also again aligned and connected to some of our satisfaction survey questions. So this is a way to help both the kids, the parents, and ourselves as teachers to keep track of how much learners are progressing. All right? Cool. I do hope that those who were unsure of, or they didn't know more about the reason why we are doing this, that this is a bit clearer. And if not, don't worry, we are going to have some question and answers moment towards the end of the webinar, okay? Let's try our second activity. In activity number 2, it's called pins. So we are just sharing this activity with you right now. And in this task, you will be able to connect. You will have 3 different stories taken from our course books. One of these stories belong to pre-kids, and the other one kids, and the other one juniors, or pre-kids, preteens 1 and 2, and preteens 3 and 4. And the idea is that you kind of look at the story and connect the story to the level, okay? Once you finish connecting the story to the level, we are going to talk about the value of the story. So if you are a reader, if you are a parent, and you decide to open the book and to read the story, what are the kids talking about? What is the moral of the story? What are we taking with us from the story? And then, after brainstorming a bit, you are going to summarize the moral of the story, or the tiger values, into one word. Okay? So I'll give you 5 minutes to take a look at our material, to go through the tasks, and to come up with this one word that is going to summarize the value of the task. Okay? Off we go.
I'm just projecting some of the images for the people who are following from their phones to know
Okay.
what the pages look like.
If you're following through the phone, what I can do is summarize the stories in the tiger value in the tiger values that they also have on the second page. So tiger value number 1 is, when you ask for something, say please and thank you. So this is the overall moral of the story. Number 2. And guys, when I say number 1, 2, this is just the order. We are not relating this morals to the levels, right? So, number 1, when you ask for something, say please and thank you. Number 2, when you play games, let everyone play. Okay. And number 3, it says, think about it. Is it important to help people? How do you help other people? So these are the 2 questions that we have to think about. So how would you sum up, when you play games, let everyone play, into one word, into one value, into one meaningful word that students are going to keep with them? All right?
So for the first one, Gabriela says inclusion.
Inclusion. Okay.
This makes sense. It's not the exact word, but it makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Inclusion. Do you think that can we see the results, or can I see the results? Have they? So we have kindness.
Yeah, just these answers so far.
Yes. Wow, 2 people go for kindness.
Bianca says politeness and teamwork.
Okay. Right.
How many points should we give them?
Oh, lots of them.
Let's give them 100 points.
100 points
Yeah,
each.
100 points for
Yes.
everybody. Yeah.
Let's give them a sticker for doing the things. Yay.
Good. Let's give them 100 points. Great work.
Right. So some of you have already started posting, and Marcela is right. Marcela Consenza is right. So when you think of the story where you have people playing games and letting everyone play, this is pre-kids. When you have the story where one can say thank you and please, this goes for pre-kids. And the last story, the one talking about the computer and the club, this is related to junior, okay? And the values, they are somehow connected to the keywords you have mentioned. And the value, and what happened was, when designing the values and when thinking of the words, both Marcela Sintra and I went through, or Marcela Sintra mainly, went through all the stories, each one of them, and we thought of this one word, which might not necessarily be the exact word you were saying, but they are somehow the idea that you have already started sharing. So for the pre-kids, the first activity is generosity, right? So for the pre-kids, we have generosity, commitment, respect, honesty, courage, and equity. We are going to have one button, one pin per story, which means that throughout the kids course, we are going to have 6 different stories, all right? The next line, we go for the next row, so we go for compassion, self-control, individuality, creativity, wisdom, responsibility, and cooperation. This line refers to our junior course, or our preteens 3 course and 4. And as you can see, they will be exposed to 7 different stories, okay? And last but not least, we have gentleness, care, love, patience, kindness, and humbleness. These refer to pre-kids, okay? So the idea here is that the pre-kids, they will be exposed to 6 different stories, and the first value is gentleness. So just to sum things up again, gentleness is the first value for pre-kids, generosity the first value for kids, preteens 1 and 2, and compassion is the first value for juniors or preteens 3 and 4. The idea is that, and why did we decide to bring the pins? Just to make the learning or the moral of the story a bit more concrete. So if you take a look at our guidelines, you are going to see that language is lifted from the context, and context is usually related to a story which is being told in the first or second lessons in our course books. So here we have some of the pins. Let me see. Oops. And Ivan is also sharing with you a picture of Marcela Sintra, who managed to include all the values. So we can actually say that she has learned all the values from our products, okay? So guys, the idea here is that we tell the story the way we usually tell the story, and that we save some time for to invite learners to start thinking and reflecting upon the story that they are told. In some of our course books, this is already part of the guidelines. It's already included as part of the guidelines. And by no means do we want you to feel that this inclusion or this adding moment is something extra for you to work on. Right, the contrary. This is just something about more, let's say, concrete for you to think of and to show your learners. So once we have told them a story, once we have covered a couple of language aspects, once we understand that they get this overall meaning of the story, why not invite these learners to also think about what they can learn from the content of the story? And we are doing that through our values. So when giving them some time for them to reflect upon the values, they will probably do exactly the way you did. They are going to start using words such as kindness, teamwork, collaboration, and then we are going to acknowledge their participation and say, yes, this is everything that you guys are saying, but for this particular activity, we are going to say it, we are going to name it gentleness, okay? Because we have to be gentle, we have to welcome people, we have to be nice, and we have to smile, and we have to show some sort of concern, to show that we care to a certain extent, okay? The idea here is that students take these buttons home or take the pins home, and they can start even making a collection of their own. As we are giving one pin per story, if we as teachers, if we have a group of kids, it might be a good thing for us to have as part of our badge all the pins of the kids' stories all together, so that learners have an idea of the number of pins they're likely to collect by the time they finish the course, which can also help us in terms of retention. If we consider that 3 of the stories will be told in the first semester and the other 3 are going to be told in the second semester. So it might be a good thing for us to show learners how many pins they can get, so that they also feel motivated and they also feel engaged in taking part of the stories, in getting to know what the stories are about. And we are also helping them develop socio-emotionally speaking, which is also one of our goals here. Okay? So far so good? So far we have mentioned the stickers that go together with the portfolio tasks. We have mentioned the pins that go together with our stories. And now we are gonna make our third activity available, which refers to our portfolio of activities. It has changed. The way it looks has changed, and together with the way it looks, other things were incorporated based on your feedback. And when I say your, I'm talking about you teachers, I'm talking about learners, I'm talking about parents, I'm talking about partner schools. So we kind of compiled many what people were sharing with us in terms of as far as the portfolio is concerned, and we kind of started working on a version that is more, let's say, that fits our reality a bit more. So I will give you some time to take a look at one of them. So Ivan has made the 4 portfolio of activities available for you. Choose one, choose the level you are familiar with, or choose the level you would like to know more about, and just choose one and think of the questions posed there for you.
How about now, guys? Okay, I can hear something. I promise you we hadn't touched anything. It just stopped.
Sound back.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, well, sound is back, and some people have posted what, I mean, and you have already contributed, you have written a couple of things in terms of what has changed in the portfolio. So I'll be just sharing with the group some of the things that you have written, and they're super fine. So Marcela says that parents will have a better chance to understand our aims in terms of the language objectives, the language aim, and especially if they don't show up in the end of term presentation, that's for sure. If you know, I'm pretty sure you noticed, and after the cover, you have an overall introduction with two QR codes, which might direct parents to concepts that we'll be working with. First one, which is the abilities for the 21st century skills, and second one is the idea of educação integral. So these two concepts are already there for parents to take a look at. It might be a good thing for you to also take a look at the readings that we have suggested parents, so that you also feel empowered to explain to parents, to prospects, and to learners what exactly is going on there. And these pages are in Portuguese, so that parents might have, they might not necessarily feel that their children are simply drawing, even though we understand what actually drawing means for this particular age group. Right. It is much more organized, Carolina, you are right. And in order to make this organization even better, we decided to hand in the portfolio of activities on the very first day or the very first weeks of lessons. So students, they receive the portfolio task with all the tasks they will be doing throughout the year. So each student will receive a specific booklet, and within the booklet, all the portfolio tasks they will be performing up until the end of the course. So this means that the portfolio is going to come and go, and parents won't need to be here or to come to the branch on the day of the end of term presentation to see what their kids have produced. They will be able to have a more, let's say, a more dynamic or a more prompt contact with this material prior to the end of the lessons, which might help you establish this kind of connection, or which might help you with the sense of progress and the sense of achievement, if we consider parents. Okay. Amanda, you also have a point. There is practically no need for us to explain the rationale behind it, but it's very important that we understand the rationale behind it, so that we ask the right questions when assessing these learners. We kind of guide them towards the whole process of working with their portfolio tasks. And yes, Gabriela, when we think of the portfolio tasks and the design of it, and their own design, we try as much as we can, or we try really hard to make them engaging and age appropriate. and we really need. But the thing is, what I am showing you is like pieces of paper. What is going to add life to it is the way you are going to introduce the portfolio task. It's the way you are going to contextualize this language work. Otherwise, it's going to become a paper for one more activity for learners to do. And this is not what we want. We want the portfolio task moment, with the portfolio activity moment, to be something memorable. And for us to do so, it requires a lot of preparation. So much more than simply showing a paper with a task or age-appropriate tasks, it is very important that as part of your planning, you devote some sort of time and attention to the whole contextualization, to the giving of instructions, and to what you expect as their teachers to produce. But then again, our change related to the portfolio task is that now we have the overall introduction as a second page, and each and every portfolio task will have an explanation of its objective and both its language and social emotional aims, which are going to portray what a bit more realistically what we are doing in our lessons. All right? Okay. Last but not least, thanks for your comments. You have a point. All of you who managed to answer, you are right. We are going to make available for you the last task, which is the big book activity task. And for that, you are going to maybe share some ideas. But prior to that, we are going to change all the readers from Thoughts 1 to Stars 1. Now they are actually going to be big books, and you'll be able to see them in a while. And the first thing I'd like you to do is I'll be showing you a big book, and I'll be reading this big book together with you. And I'd like you to take a look at the story, to pay attention to the language we are working on here. And I'd like you to tell me which level you believe it is from. Okay?
Here's the camera.
Okay? So, you can see me, right? And this is the book. So as you can see, it is actually big because I'm standing up right now in order to tell you the story, otherwise it doesn't actually fit. Okay? So we have here a story called The Little Red Hen. So as you can see, what is this hen doing? Oops, over here. What is this hen doing? Oh, probably cooking, teacher. Cozinhando. What is this? Oh, she's cooking. Cool. And can we think of a name for our hen? And maybe learners, they can talk about the name of their hen, what they are working on, or what is she cooking. What kind of food do you expect to find here? If they have ever, what kind of food they like eating at home. And then, okay, so fine, let's take a look at what happens to our hen. See? So, where is the hen now? In the kitchen. Yes, I know. So, look. Little Red Hen is cooking. What are you cooking? Asks the cat. Soup, says Hen. Do you like soup? Yes, I do, says Cat. And you guys, do you like soup? And probably children say yes, no, and you can ask follow-up questions there. And then we continue saying, help me cook the soup, says Hen. No, says the cat. What are you cooking? Says the cat. So now soup is done. She's cooking something else. Let's see. What do you think she's cooking now? Over here. Yes? Okay. Let's see. Ta-da! Look! She's cooking biscuits, says the hen. Do you like biscuits? Yes, I do, says Cat. Help me make the biscuits then, says Hen. No way, says the cat on his cell phone. You see, look here, chatting with friends. Not that appropriate, huh? Okay. So, over here, yes. What are you eating and drinking? Asks, oh, sorry. And then the after cooking the biscuits, the cat asks, what are you eating and drinking? Cat asks. My food, says Hen, and it's good. It's delicious. Look. So what is it we have here? The soup and the biscuits. Okay? Right. And guess what the cat is going to say now? May I have soup and biscuits, please? Asked Cat. No way. I'm sorry. You didn't help me cook, so you cannot help me eat. All right? And this is the end of the story. So, based on the language described and based on the nature of the story, which do you think we are working with? Thoughts 1, thoughts 2, thoughts 3, Ivan, thoughts stars. All right. Any ideas? Oh, yes. Yes. Most of you are correct. We are definitely working on, it's probably, we are working with the upper levels. Upper levels as far as young learners are concerned, right? Yes, it is related to stars 1. Why? Because of the level of the structures presented. So we have, do you like it? Yes, I do. Can you help me? And then you have the different, you have questions and answers. You have more complex language involved. And this is the book will you be using for stars 1, okay? You will be using this material with your children, and then again, this is replacing the book that we used in the first semester, and you will be using this book in lessons 13, from lessons 13 to 15. I'm not really sure whether it's 13 and 14 or maybe 14 and 15, but you're going to have a two lessons, a 250-minute lesson to work with the vocabulary, the structure, and the storytelling here. Okay? Right. So now that we are going to work with real big books, there are some things that we should be attentive to. So first, can you think of possible ways of sequencing the stage of this lesson? Because whenever we tell a story, whenever we work with big books, it's important that we think of the contextualization. So what is it that we are going to do? We cannot simply say, hi, hooray, here's a hen, here's a book, let's read it. You also have to understand that manipulating this big book can be quite challenging because it's actually big. And if you just put it in front of you, you can actually read the story because there's no script for you to follow. So it requires some sort of previous work. Yeah, right. So in here. So what is it that we can do for contextualizing? And as your peers are typing, they can see each other's answers, right? Okay, cool. So you can read there that, what happened?
Someone deleted someone else's text.
They didn't like technology. Yay. So
don't delete your friend's text. That's one of the values, guys.
Yes.
It's in stars 1. Don't delete your friend's text.
No, it's over there. But then we are working with the pre, and then we are working with the while, and we are working with the post. And somebody deleted the context. Okay. And it's important that when we work with children, young learners, adults, we can never delete the context in life. Okay, cool. So elicitation, yes. Activity, yes. who cooks at home. That's very interesting because this can also give you an idea of the kind of audience that you have, because we might have some children that are a bit more used to cooking than others, which is interesting. Yes. Yes, who cooks at their home. Fantastic. Super, super fine. Yeah. Yes. So there has to be some sort of maybe pre-teaching first in terms of a couple of language items or language things they're going to ask. Yes. Yes, Thelma. Or we can even we can even ask them if they enjoy eating, because this is also, if they don't cook, I'm pretty much sure they eat, and they might have some sort of favorites. Cool. Why don't we try maybe now so then there is the contextualization, and then maybe some work with the pre-reading tasks. Can we try that now? Okay. Draw a hand cooking on the board. Yay! Yes. Before showing the book. Okay. Or if you have the book, the images are very rich. So this is the material the Our World material, Cengage material. So there is this. If there is one thing that these guys do well, is actually working on the visuals. Definitely. Yes, Ligia, nice. Thelma, same thing here, working with book cover, that's awesome. And even if you want to go for the literacy thing, you can say, guys, so can you point where the title is? Can you point where the title is, so that we can start, they can actually recognize the format and the letters. Yes? No, Jonas there. Gabi. Yes, review. Gabi, you can either review or introduce vocabulary, because, you know, present vocabulary, actually better. Present vocabulary. We are talking a lot about language here, and Ligia mentioned something interesting when she says, predict what the hen is cooking. It's important that we listen and work with language, but we should also use maybe the pre-reading tasks to generate curiosity, to trigger curiosity in our learners. So what exactly is it that she is cooking? What do you expect to happen? You know, these things. So apart from language, let's try and go a step further. So what kind of questions can we ask to cater for language work? And what other kind of questions can we ask in order to work with content and the raising of creativity? Yes? Yes. You have a point there, Jonas. Just show them. Yes, Marcio. Cool. So just again, based on the tasks you have been writing, just ensure we keep a balance in terms of language related questions and also content related questions, because if you think of real life, we don't read stories because we want to learn new words. We read stories because they are engaging. And this is the most important thing when we tell stories to children. It's not about introducing language, but it's about having them have fun. This is why we tell stories. This is why children engage in the stories that we tell, because they believe they want to belong, and they see themselves when the characters are actually doing things, right? Let's try the while reading. Cool. Say the chunks, yes. And whenever we invite students to say the chunks, this is extremely important, because we can maybe consider some sort of rhythm for the chunks, which might help children remember the chunks they're saying. So what are you eating and drinking? Cat says. So what are you, or my food, says the hen. So thinking of your intonation here, Do you like biscuits? You know, raising intonation. Oh, yes, I do follow intonation. And so this has to be very clear for learners. And this is a very interesting and natural way of understanding differences in terms of intonation patterns. And yes, inviting them to repeat is also a very interesting thing. They can, I mean, but then it goes for the post. They could have created their own food or their own questions. Yes. Yes, Yasmin, that's perfect.
This comes from Mark Hancock, right?
I guess Marcio was the one working with creating rap-like lines. Yes. Yeah, this is a very interesting thing because I was just telling you to create rhymes and Marcio just connected. Marcio mentioned work with the rhymes, creating rap lines. This doesn't have to be your work. Remember Steve Rappel's plenary session. If students can create their own rhymes, why are you creating a rhyme? So sorry about that. Tell the story and maybe work the rhymes together with them. They might be even more engaged in the story you tell. Items. Yes, ask them how they think. Oh yeah, asking how they feel. Me, Clarice, yes. Me, Clarice, sorry, me. Your ask them how they feel. It's quite pertinent because we are actually working with social emotional features. So that's great. That's really cool, and it's pretty much aligned to all the other to the work we will be doing in our storytelling with the pins. Nice one. How do you like it? Yes. What's this? You know, good thing about technology, guys, is that these slides will remain as they are. So you can come and go. And if you have no more ideas throughout the semester, you can actually use this. Cool. Great ideas. Okay. Right. Can maybe we try the post-reading tasks now? I know. Very interesting first task. I'm not gonna ask you guys who you guys are similar to now.
But I think they mean
their very first cooking opportunity or cooking experience in life, right? I'm not suggesting here that we are offering cooking lessons, okay? What I'm just saying is that locally we can check whether it could be a good thing for learners to deal with actually cooking or to learn how to do these things. If you want to go this wild, let's just remember that children might be allergic, and this is something that has to be locally arranged. And when I say locally arranged, I'm talking about your branch manager, and I'm talking about making this, let's say, making parents aware of this. And I mean, and also if you are doing this in Cultura, you also should inform those who are responsible for providing the ingredients, or maybe those who are responsible for checking if we have any allergic children in our groups, right? Yes, when we invite children to analyze their behavior. Okay. Invite students to think about the character. All right. Role play. Yes, and depending on the school, there are some schools that allow us to tape children in our lessons to show parents within their intranet system. This could work. Inviting, or we can even if we are working with role playing, We can even rehearse and show bits and pieces of it in the end of term presentation. Yes, Anna? You have a point. The characters felt whether the behavior was appropriate. This is fantastic because it involves some critical thinking. Is it appropriate? Not? How should I? And when as we are talking about as we are talking to children, it might be a good thing to go a step further. When we ask whether it's appropriate or not, it might be a good thing for us to ask, okay, so if it's not appropriate, how can we solve this? Because as they are children, they might lack repertoire due to lack of experience. So it is important that whenever we invite them to reflect and they identify, for example, that the cat has shown some bad behavior or some inappropriate behavior, it's very important that we help them think of what good behavior is or what the cat could have done, because by doing so we are helping them with repertoire. Okay, and this is also part of the post-reading task, right? Whenever we are helping them with repertoire and thinking, let's remember that this is a stars group, so they are 5 and 6. So some of this discussion is likely to happen in Portuguese because they are talking about they are talking about behavior. They are actually working with behavior. And if Portuguese and if there is Portuguese in this particular stage of your lesson, this is totally fine. What we can do is transform the kids' Portuguese into maybe one statement or two. So the cat should have done this. Obviously, we are not going to say, oh, the cat should have helped the children, the hen. But we can say, oh, so helping is important. So we can transform the statement, or we can, let's say, adapt the statement so that it is a bit more, it fits better the children's needs, right? Okay. Guys, so yes, that's it. We have shown you we have done 4 different activities. Each activity refers to one particular aspect that is going to be either implemented or changed. Aspect number 1 is stickers. We are going to give our learners stickers during the portfolio for each portfolio they accomplish. This is no punishment. So if the child misbehaves, or if the child doesn't manage to finish the thing, we will have to negotiate things, but they will have to receive, or they should receive the sticker. So it's not punishment. It's just a way of showing parents and showing children that there is learning happening. The pins, activity 2, pins are connected to the stories we tell, and this is a way of wrapping up the moral of the story through our tiger values moment. We have portfolio, which is activity 3, and this is just for you to have an idea of the changes we have implemented, meaning there is some sort of material in Portuguese for parents, which might help them better understand what their kids are doing, and not simply believing that their kids are drawing or cutting and gluing, and this might help you and help us better understand what we do. And last but not least, we are now having the big books for new big books and real big books, because they're actually big, for thoughts 1, 2, and 3, and stars 1. These big books, again, you are going to have, we are saving this material. So if in case you lack ideas on how to get things started, you have the slides available for you, so you can pretty much take a look at what peers have said. And I guess that we can say that right now we have already planned 2 of our lessons, which is fantastic, right? Because you have at least an idea of how to start things and how to finish things with the storytelling. These are things that we have implemented to help you and to help you assess your learners' performance in a more tangible way, in order to help learners see how much they are progressing in a more concrete manner, and also it's a way to communicate with our parents and show them the academic excellence we have been having for years now, because I'm pretty sure that when we have our young learners group, we do plan for them, and we do want them to have the best opportunity and the best learning experience they can have. So these are all just ways to flag, like, hey, here we are, this is Cultura Inglesa, and this is how much we can do, and this is how much, not that we can do, this is how much your son can do or daughter can do, and this is what we want you to see, how much they are progressing and how much they are having fun and how much they are learning when they come to our branches and as they spend almost 100 minutes together with us. So this is what we want. Our time's up, but then again, we are still open for, if you have any questions, or if you have any questions, maybe we could spend maybe like 10 more minutes working on these questions. So if you want to ask, due to all the issues we had with the computer and the sound and everything, so maybe if you would like to stay and ask some questions, you can stay and ask questions. If you'd like to go, it's okay, because you can also probably read the questions later, as the YouTube video will be available for you as well. But if you have questions or comments, yay.
And while you're typing, I'm sorry for what happened. We're still not sure exactly where we got things wrong in the beginning, and what actually happened to the microphone at some point that it stopped. So I hope that despite these issues, you were able to enjoy the webinar, you were able to learn a lot, and you were able to use these techniques in class.
I'm receiving a lot of thanks. Thank you all. Mm-hmm. Thank you all very, very much. And especially thank you all for contributing that much in our last activity. You should read it once more, so that you know how fantastic you are when having the chance and the time to brainstorm things together. Thank you very, very, very much. All right? So if you have no questions, and if you have no questions you don't want to ask me here, you can send us an email. So we have karina.nazari, Nazari, at culturainglesasp.com.br, or marcela.sintra at culturainglesasp.com.br, or you can call us. I'll just write our emails and my phone number on the chat, so you can talk to us in case you have any questions, any comments, or suggestions. Many, many, many thanks. Have a wonderful term all. And please revisit your slides. They are super cool, great ideas. And I'm pretty sure that you have saved at least 1 or 2 hours planning now. All right?
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.